Hello everyone, welcome to CodeCorp and welcome to another video of the Java 8 interview series. So in this series of Java 8, today we'll be discussing about the Stream API. So earlier in our videos, we have already covered the topics such as Lambda expressions, functional interfaces, method references, and in the recent video, I have covered optional classes. So if you have not watched them, just to look at them once before moving toward the Stream API. So, as it is the one of the most important feature of Java 8, let's dive into the Stream API. Okay. So today in this video, we are going to cover all these things that you can see on your screen. These things we are going to cover in Java Stream API. Firstly, we are going to have an introduction with Java Stream API, and then we are gonna think about like what is the source and what are the intermediate operations that are performed on that source, and what are the terminals operations. And in the later maybe in this video or in next, we are going to cover like interviews questions. That is the most important part of Java 8 Stream API. So in the interviews, generally people ask like what are the Java 8 features, and then they comes down to Stream like have you heard of Java 8 Stream? And if you tell them yes, like they are gonna ask like what is a stream, Java 8 Stream, what are the intermediate operations, what are the terminals operations. And when you answer them all, then they are going to provide you one of the questions, and then you have to solve that questions using Java 8 Stream. So I have a list of multiple important interview questions that I'm gonna cover in the next videos. Okay, so let's start with Java 8 Stream API. So I have created one of the one Google slide here to explain Stream API in Java in detail. Let's have a look on that. Okay. So here you can see what is Java 8 Stream. So Java 8 Stream is nothing. It's generally like to perform some operations on a particular collections of data, whether it should be an array list or an array or anything. It could be anything. Just we want to perform some pipelined operations on that particular collection, and then at the end we are gonna store that result into some other collections. Okay, so that is the main point of Stream API. So how is it useful? Like we can simply use one separate collection and then store the result by simply using the for loops, perform some operation, and then can store the result in a target collections or something. What is the point of using Stream API in that question? The issue is that like whenever you are using the like normal for loops and all, then you must require to store the elements in some of the variables or in some of the data structure or some collections. But during the time of Stream API, think it as a like stream of water. You are performing some operations and the collection or the data is just like flowing. You are just adding some operation to it, like filtering it, mapping it values, or filtering out some of the values from it, and data is continues to flow, just thinking like that. Okay, as you can see in this example, you can see we have created one names array list which is having these names: Alice, Bob, Charlie, David. And in the filtered names, we are gonna, what is the requirement? We are gonna have the names which are starting with A. Okay, so how do we do that? Firstly, using this dot stream methods, we are gonna create a stream of this array list, this collection. That is the source. Okay, and here you can see dot filter is an intermediate operation. I will tell you later like what are intermediate operation, what is the source, and what are the like terminal operations. What does filter do? Filter is takes some predicates as an input, and based on the value of that predicate, it's gonna filter the data. Okay, so what is happening here, like name lambda expression name dot starts with A, so it is gonna filter this data, and it is gonna store that name which are starting with A to this collection list. Okay, so this is how you can understand like what is an stream. And if you go by the definition, then you can go through this. Stream API is used to process collection of object. Collection of the object is like array list or anything, array list, map or anything, and list or array or anything. A stream in Java is a sequence of object or like sequence of operation, I would say. Like you can apply one filter, you can apply a second filter here, you can apply a third filter here. That is a sequence of operations. that support various methods which can be pipelined to produce the desired result. Pipeline, what does pipeline means? Like first we are filtering, and then we are mapping, and then we are again filtering, then we are collecting. So this is a pipeline. So if we understand it through a daily life example, then maybe you will get a better understanding. So let me move to a daily life example here. So here you can see, I have given you one example of one company. Suppose Bisleri is one of the company, and they are taking the raw water and doing some filtrations and adding some minerals, and then storing these this raw water into some bottles and packaging, and then it's ready to deploy in the market. So this is the whole procedure of a I would say like Bisleri company or any other water company. Okay. So how things are happening? Like how is it? How can we compare that to a stream? And like how can we understand stream API through that flow of distributing from raw materials, from raw water to the packaged water? Okay. So let's take it as a source of water. So water is the source. In our case, in stream API, the collection or the array list that we were giving here, this is the source. The name is the source. Okay, so we have applied on function names.getStream. Now it is ready to move into the further things. So here we are passing a water stream to the RO filter. What is RO filter? It is a operation. Okay, like in earlier where we are passing like filter, this is an operation, and this is another operation like adding minerals to that water, that flow of water. And this is another operation, that is after adding minerals we are storing that water to some containers or bottles. So that is like terminal operation. We are storing that to something like some container or some object. Here you can see in collect we are storing that to a list. Okay, and after that it is ready to use. So in similar kind of way, here you can see the operations that I marked with this blue color, those are like intermediate operations. Okay, in the previous slide, as you can see, the filter is the intermediate operation, and here added mineral is also intermediate operation. The storing in the container, this operation is like terminal operation, that is a collection. Like collection means not the Java collection, it is like collecting that object, collecting that stream to a particular list or something. Okay, and then it is ready to dispatch in the market. So I hope you must have been uh, having an idea of stream API now. And if you have any doubt, just post me in the comment section. I'll update that to you, or maybe just wait for the end of the video, then you will be having a lot of good understanding about the stream API. Talk about the flow of stream API. So this is what happens generally. So earlier, this is the only thing that I have explained you earlier. So it is just like in Java terminology, what's happening there. Okay. So here you can see input. Earlier we have given water there. So this is water is in input, and here the name is input. Okay. So if we go and pass that stream to this intermediate operations, operation 1, operation 2, operation 3. So here like RO filter, adding minerals, or many others like adding some sweetener or something, if we want that in our product or not. And here like adding filter to second filter or third filter, anything. So those are operations, and those operations are called intermediate operations. The chaining of these operations is called intermediate operations. And then terminal operations comes into the picture. Terminal operations is like, okay, now you have performed all the operations, now you have done some calculation and all. Now let me take this stream to a object and return it to the user. So that thing is done by terminal operations. So mostly here you can see, if in this example you can see the storing in the containers is like terminal operation. And here you can see collecting it to list is a terminal operation. Okay, so I hope it is clear now. And then we return the output to the user, or like to any object or something, anything that we want. So generally in most of the cases, the output that we get from an stream is generally an optional. We take that as an optional. I will explain you that to you later. Let's create our first stream API program. Okay, so for that let me start let me start Eclipse and adding this main method as well. Okay, so, list of integer. I want integer. If you have numbers, let's say it for now, let's call it numbers. List dot of, here we can pass 1 2 3 4 5 6. and it is asking for import list, and now we have imported. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, any number of input suppose we are taking here. Okay, now what do we do? So this is the source that we are having. Now we are gonna convert this to streams. So numbers dot stream. Okay, so now it's a stream. Okay, if you go to that our operation here, if you can see here, okay, so now we got the source, and if you now we got the input stream source. Now what is the step? We need to perform some operations or anything that we want. Okay, so now let me perform some operations here. Okay, let me perform a filter operation here. Suppose I want to filter the odd numbers out of this list. Okay, so it's having like odd and even numbers. Suppose I want to filter the odd numbers out of this list. So you can see it's taking a predicate as an input. Okay, and predicate I have explained you in the earlier videos. That's why I told you like you must have gone through the earlier videos that before going through the stream API, then you must be having an understanding of like what is predicate and how does it work. So predicate generally takes a lambda expression as an input, and based on the operations, based on the like implementation or whatever expression that we have written in that lambda expressions, it returns true or false, and based on that only the stream will get filtered. Okay, so if I use filter here, then if I am passing a lambda expression, suppose x is the variable that I am passing, and I am saying like if x modulo 2 is not equal to 0. Okay, so then these all the elements are getting filtered based on x. Suppose x is 1 is an element, and if 1 is not equal to 2 0, then if this expression return false, then this item will not be added to that stream. Okay, will be rejected, and if it is returning true, then that particular x element will be selected. Okay, so now we have applied filter here. Now what do we have to do? We have to collect this to a list or anything. Okay, now intermediate operation is performed. Now we will move toward the terminal operation. Okay, we have performed only one intermediate operation here. Later I'll tell you like how to chain these intermediate operations and then perform a terminal operation. So for now we have performed one intermediate operation, terminal operation. So what are the terminal operations that we do? We have here that is collect. Okay, so collect is taking some collectors. So that is let me pass the collector here. That is, you can see collector is here, and like collectors dot to list. Let me pass it here, like collectors dot to list. Now this terminal operation is working as it is passing a collector, and it is taking collector as an input. So you can see collector method takes collector as an input, and these collectors have multiple methods like collectors dot to list, collectors dot to multiple things it is having. You can see collector dot average link, collector dot grouping by, etc, etc. It is having multiple methods. You can explore them all later. So for now we are using collector dot to list. Okay, so now what has happened here? Our source collection has become a stream, and that perform this intermediate operation on that, and then this terminal operation is performed, and the data that we are getting is converted to a list. How is it a list? Let me show you. Like let me buy just system.out.println. Let me print this data only, then we'll be having an idea like how it is working. Okay, so now if I am running this code, then I'll be getting only the odd numbers from this particular list. Okay, and if you will print earlier, let me print earlier also for the comparison. Okay, so you can see the difference. Like now we are getting only the odd numbers. Okay, suppose now I want to perform some again like this is the collect. This is the like how do I say? So now you can see this is the terminal operation. Like now I want to perform some of the other intermediate operations. Like I want to do some intermediate operations chaining in this. Okay, so I have applied one filter here. Okay, so now one more filter I want to apply. Like I want the odd numbers, but those odd numbers should be multiple of 5 only. Okay, so if we again print like let me comment it here, like let me comment here also, only odd numbers. Okay, now you want the numbers which are odd and multiple of 5. Okay, so how do we do that? First we have filtered them out as this. Okay, this must be a wrong example because all the odds. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now you can see until running this intermediate operation, we are getting this as an output like 13579. Now you want to perform one more filter operation here that from this output we should only get which are multiple of 5. So what you can do here, you can add one more filter. If already I added dot, if I want to add one more filter here, dot filter, and again one predicate, so we can pass the same value. Just take care of this 5 only. 5 modulo equals to 0, then give us the result. So what is happening here, first is checking the for the odd numbers, if it is a multiple of 2 or not. Based on that, it is filtering out the odd numbers, and after that, if it is checking like if it is a multiple of 5, then only I want the results. So now the output of this will be among these numbers 13579, only 5 is the multiple of 5. So we are getting in the final list, we will be getting 5 as an output. Let me run this and check. Okay, so now you can see like 5 is the output. Okay, so what are the other features other than this filter? Okay, so you must be having an idea now about the intermediate operations, source, stream, and the terminal operations and the output. So let me move to another next slide. Okay, so in this slide you will be having this again flow of the stream code. So in this slide also I have just mentioned, like highlighted the point that where we can apply the intermediate operations and what are the terminals operation. I have explained them already. This is like pictorial representations of like in the code where you can see that. So here filter is the intermediate operation and terminal is the terminal operation. Collect is the terminal operation. So you must be thinking like how many terminal operations must be there. Okay, so there can be multiple, just keep a note of it, like there can be multiple intermediate operations. Okay, but there can only be one terminal operation. Okay, if you have terminated your stream, then you have to again convert it to a stream and then perform some again. If you want to perform some again some filters and all, then you have to, after terminal operation, then you have to again convert it to a stream and then perform the operations and all. Okay, understand? Let me show you that with an example. Suppose in this example, uh, only if I am getting only the odd numbers. Okay. Okay, so if I don't want to like disturb this code, this existing code, like I don't want to put another filter here, I want to perform the filter operation after this collect. Okay, so what do I have to do? I have to again convert this list that has been collected to a stream and then perform the filter and then collect again. Okay, how to do that? It has been converted to this collector.toList, and here you can again convert it to stream and then again filter x modulo to 5 is equal to 0, and then again collectors to list. Okay, so you have to again convert that to a stream and then perform the modulo operations. Like after if you have done some termination, then you cannot like again apply a filter. So this is this should be the outcome of your code. Okay, so this is the outcome of this code. So just keep in mind that like if a terminal operation has been implemented, then you cannot apply an intermediate operation after a terminal operation. The name itself suggests that like it is an intermediate operation, so it must be in the middle of the expression. It should not be at the end. Okay, so I think that must be enough for this video. In the next video, I'll be explaining you and how to use some of the interminal operations, that filter, map, flat map, distinct, sorted with comparator, limit, skip, and all. So that also the terminal operation. So there are many terminal or intermediate operations. You must go through yourself through them. Then only you will be getting an idea. Just use them, play with them, and do some operations with them. Then only you would be having a better understanding. So in our next video, we'll be explaining with code these intermediate and terminal operations. Until then, just practice over stream and check if what the operations that you can perform. So if you have liked the content, just like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any issue or any doubt related to the Stream API up till the topic that we have covered, just keep me posted in the comment section. Just ask anything, I'll be ready to help. Okay, so until then, until we move to the intermediate terminal operations video, just take care till then, and keep practicing, keep coding. Thank you.